ever wonder why people are the way that they are? You ever wonder why people think the way that they think? Well, here's the answer to your questions. This is the sit down.
We look at that kickback, man. We look at it like the people that's keeping up with us, the people that's really following us, that's really checking to see where we're gonna be at. Those are the people that know about the kickback. It's an intimate setting. You get real up and close and personal with the artists. You sitting with them. It's like a lounge, man. It's like a real beautiful atmosphere. So, it's like kicking it with family.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much what it is. It's just a real organic atmosphere, but the artistry is still the same. Like the same type of quality we bring to the Houston Improv, we bring to the kickback. But the only thing is, the people that's really keeping up with us is rewarded with that opportunity to come kick it with us as artists and smoke some hookah, bring your bottles. We're gonna pop bottles. We're gonna just have a good time. We're gonna really we got good food, everything. Like, it's really just like you kicking it with family, but you're gonna get a hell of a show in the process. Mm-hmm. Whereas at the Houston Improv, you don't get the hands-on experience with artists. You don't get to sit shoulder to shoulder with them. You gotta pay. It's $20 to $30 to get in there. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole different energy, not energy, but atmosphere, right?
So you're saying each artist has their own setup?
What you mean?
Or because
when I say setups, I'm talking about what you mixing your drinks with.
So that's what you have to pay for.
Okay.
That's what you pay.
No, I'm thinking stage.
No. That's all gonna be set. But the setups is basically referring to when you come in. If you don't have no bottles, if you're not bringing no alcohol with you or nothing like that, you ain't get in for free. You don't gotta pay for nothing.
But if you do, then you have to get your ice, your cups, your mixers.
Yeah, you get it from the establishment. I mean, that's the least we can do for them, allowing us to come and do what we do at their venue. You know what I mean?
And then there's a liquor store down the street from the establishment. If you let them know that you are going to the lounge, and they'll give you like 10% off of your order.
Yeah, cool. It's black owned, black owned liquor store. Nice. So they working with each other. The venue is black owned and the liquor store is black owned. So they say, hey, look, if you tell the guy at the liquor store that you're coming to this venue, he's gonna give you a percentage off of your purchase. Mm-hmm. And so that's cool. That's real. And they even deliver to the spot too. So that's pretty cool.
How'd y'all come about with this?
The venue, man, it's crazy, right?
We were at one venue, Hookah Lounge, on Bama North Houston, and something happened with that venue, and we had to find a new venue in 2 days.
2 days.
2 days, and especially because people were expecting us to have this show. So they're like, okay, what's going on? Where we going? What we going to do? And man, we were calling, trying to, see what we were going to do. And it just so happened.
Yeah, Seven. My boy Seven, man. Shout out to Seven, the poet. We was on the phone. I let him know my ordeal, my situation. He said, man, I might be able to help you. And he said, give me a second. I'll give you a call back in a few minutes. Sure enough, man, he plugged me in with the owner. And it's all she wrote from there. I mean, they love us there. We love being there. Hopefully that situation don't change anytime soon. We really like the environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah.
And that was February 5th.
Yeah.
So we've been there for about 3 months now.
Yeah.
You said once a month?
Once a month. Every first Friday we go live to Kickback. And again, that's not something we heavily market. We don't promote it. We don't push it. We might push it like. Is that a reason
you don't?
Yeah, the reason why we don't do it is because we want that event to be for the people that really keeping up with where we at. You know what I mean? When you promoting, you pushing it out to everybody. People come across your promotion that ain't even looking for you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But the people that's keeping up with you, they gonna ask you, hey man, when the next what's going on? When the next gonna reach
out to you. That's when you.
That's people I say, hey, oh yeah, well we have a kickback on First Friday. Where it's gonna be? I'll shoot you the information.
I'm gonna send you the flyer.
I'll send you the flyer. And that's how they find out about the kickback, because it'd be like they checking in and say, hey man, when the next show? Well, you know what? We do got something coming up on First Friday. But we always mention we have a First Friday show. But you just don't see a whole bunch of promotion.
We may promote it like 2 days ahead of time. We may post the flyer, like, if it's Friday, so we may post it on Wednesday or Thursday. or hell, I might post it on the day of.
Yeah,
You
real talk.
know,
We done that
if you
before.
see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. Then I get, oh well, I wish I would have saw it.
Man,
Well,
I
you
mean,
know, we
that's
have.
such an interesting take.
Mm.
Well, when you're looking at promotion,
Mhm.
because I mean, I read a ton. I mean, I read a lot, and a lot of time, and one of the things that I read, especially when it come down to um, attention, like promotion type of attention, you know, not like personal attention, but like trying to light on.
Mhm.
Some people don't realize, but it's effective to go small. And when I
Mhm.
say small, I mean kind of like what you're talking about, word of mouth versus mass
Mhm.
Yeah.
promotion, right? You would think, oh, let me get 1,000 flyers, let me get people in the streets to
Mhm.
pass out 1,000 flyers, let me put all this work into it, let
Mhm.
me go on radio promos, and let me do this. But it's something about that underground growing
Mhm.
buzz
Mhm.
versus that. You know what? I'm gonna do my own poetry show, and I'm gonna just rent out this place, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna da, 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 and have a whole bunch of people come out, and like we were talking about in there, it'd be a whole bunch of people that ain't even into poetry.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It'd be a whole bunch of people that's just, oh, I see a buzz going,
Yeah.
So
and
I'm
let me
just
go
coming for
follow the
that
go.
crowd.
reason.
Yeah.
They get in there, man, this ain't me, da 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 da, and
Yeah.
then next thing you know, you got an audience of 500, but only 5 care.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Versus a small buzz coming up, everybody who comes
They
has
want to
to
be
care.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
they want
Because
to be
they
there.
found out what it was,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then they took the steps to actually get there
Yeah.
versus being convinced based on the mass crowd.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I mean that's very interesting type of promotion that is effective
Yeah.
that most people wouldn't even go for.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna grow at its own pace, and that's cool, cause like we go live the big we go live show every other month, and that's and we still do a kickback every month that we do the big show at the Houston Improv.
So
We
they
still
get
do
2
the
shows in 1 month.
if you paying attention,
Yeah.
if you following
If you-
us, you'll get 2 shows in 1 month.
And if
we
you've
go
been
live.
rocking with us, then you know that we're gonna do this kickback either way it go.
Yeah,
So that's originally what we started doing in the first place.
Is the kickback?
Is the
started.
kickback. So if you know we go, if regardless if you know about the main show, you should know we go live the kickback.
yeah,
So
yeah. The folks that's really keeping up with us,
they know
they
and
know
they're
where
there.
to kick back, and they there, and they they can vouch for what you're gonna get when you come to the kickback. It's again the level of entertainment is gonna be there, same as the Houston Improv, but it's gonna be a different level of I don't want to say it's just a different atmosphere, man.
Yeah.
Because some people like to be waited on. Some people like to be catered to. That's what. Okay, hey, you want to take your girl on a nice romantic, outing.
Then you want to
Okay, go to the improv. You're gonna have waiters. It's gonna serve you. Somebody's gonna take your your order and
Get your
all that good
drinks
stuff.
and-
Hey, you can pull a chair out for her. You can wine and dine her. Or if you just like, hey man, you got a down to earth chick.
And
She
she
just
wanna
wanna
just chill.
She wants some beers and she wanna chill, smoke some hookah. You know what I'm saying? Kick it with some real people.
Mm-hmm.
Bring her to the
Same
kickback.
thing.
But the entertainment
Is the same.
is
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
It's just the atmosphere has changed now.
Yeah, well, the atmosphere fits everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Atmosphere fits everyone.
Right.
Man, who are you?
Well, I'm Scott Free.
And I'm Courtney Lynn.
Yeah. And we are the hosts of We Go Live, the founders of We Go Live.
Okay.
Yeah. and so much more. But
We're going even better than that, man. Where we coming from? How we get into spoken word? Period. How I mean, because it has to start off, as a seed that it grows into a plant, and at this point, it seems like a plant. So, how did we start off with getting into it, and how did y'all two link up and
Okay.
get it to where it is?
Well, I started writing a long time ago, like when I was in middle school, high school, but I never performed anywhere until a few years ago, about 3 or 4 years now. I decided to step on a stage.
Where are you from?
I'm from Houston.
Okay.
So I stepped on the stage at, what is that called? It was Poetry Lounge Sundays, hosted by Seven. And this time it was at Sugar Hill. So That was my
Award.
first time performing.
That's one. Okay.
Yeah, now it's called Live Oak, but
Yeah.
yeah. And so that was my first time actually performing, and kind of once I got that little bug, it just was like, oh, okay, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Even though I was, a little bashful back then.
Were you comfortable?
The first time?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, I want to say it took me years to get comfortable. Literally, I just got comfortable. Like now I get up there and it's nothing. But like before I used to get up there and be nervous, put my head down. I would not project. But now I'm just comfortable up there. It just doesn't matter.
Did you personally like evaluate and grow, or did you get a lot of feedback and then that's what made you get more comfortable?
The first time I actually say that I actually performed was I did a show called the Dope Art Show. Toby was the host of that show and the founder for the Dope Art Show. And that's the first time I actually performed. I saw myself like, okay. And then I started getting additional feedback, of course, from friends, family, like, okay, you really opened up then. So why don't you do that every time you get on stage? And I was like, okay, I'm going to try a little bit more. And then I went to a couple of more open mics, which is where you kind of develop your growth. Like open mics are very important because you're able to, see trial and error. You're able to see where you can grow from. And then, I got him in my corner. So he always in my ear about, what I need to do a bit to better myself.
Have you done big crowds?
The improv. That's the biggest crowd. Well, the Dope Art Show was around the same amount of people. It was a very big crowd, about 500 people. So
the reason I asked is because I had to sit down with the artist called Great House, and we had got into a discussion about how it feels when you're in a it's like a kickback setting where it's up and close and personal versus a performance setting. And he was telling me that for him, it's harder when you're in that personal setting and you got people like right there, even though it's a smaller crowd. There's people are different. And so for him, he was like, it's easier for him to perform in front of thousands versus performing in front of 10 or 15. That's right there. I think some of the things he was saying is that like, when you're up close, you can kind of literally see some people's facial expressions to kind of determine if they're really into it or not. Sometimes that gets intimidating. Sometimes just, people just being all in your grill versus, us thousands of people. So some people might be listening without looking and still enjoy it. And that makes you more comfortable because you ain't worried about it. So what's your take on that?
I feel like the same way. I mean, the little crowd got me prepared for the big crowd because when I got in front of a big crowd, I wasn't nervous. When I get in front of a little crowd, I was nervous. Like, oh my goodness, it's, people looking at me. Like even for the open mics for Sevens Sunday shows, I used to get nervous getting on that stage, and it was like no more than 100 people there, but I would still get nervous. But when I got on stage for the Dope Art Show and I saw hundreds of people there, I didn't have a nervous bone in my body. For the first time I did improv was in January. I wasn't nervous at all. It was like, why am I not nervous? But it's because I can't see half the people.
That's because that
How long have you been doing that prior to that first improv? How many did you have under your belt?
Big shows?
Well, just shows pictures. How many times have you been up?
Probably about a good 20, 30. Okay. Like I've done plenty of shows.
So you think that has a reason why you probably wasn't nervous in the improv, seeing the same thing over and over? It
was just the fact that it was a bigger crowd, so I wasn't looking for anyone in the crowd. As long as I can see him in the crowd, I'm okay. Like if it's a smaller crowd and he's not there and I can't see him, then I automatically get nervous. Like it's something, I don't know what it is. But if I'm in a bigger crowd, I don't see anybody. I'm not paying attention and I'm just listening for voices. And I have a lot of poets that are friends who I can hear them when I'm spitting, I can hear them. So I'm like, okay, well, my girl Cece I can hear her. I can hear my friend Lady 380. I can hear I can hear my friends. So that gives me confidence to go and keep going. Ain't got nothing to be nervous about. I can hear him. Stuff like that. So,
may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Scott Free.
I think that the intimacy, I like the intimacy of a small crowd, but also to touch on what you said, the artist was saying, hey man, you can see these people and you don't know their opinions. Well, that's different when people are there to see you. When you know, hey, they want what you got cooking. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference because now you know it's not a question of whether or not you want to hear this, because I know this your shit right here. I'm finna spit.
When we talked about how the original buzz for the kickback, like people are coming, they know what it is before they get there.
Yeah.
Versus I saw a flyer and I'm going there to be entertained
Yeah,
by
yeah.
something I don't even know.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
It makes a big difference because you know you have, when that crowd is intimate, but you know they there for you, or they're supportive. They can be intimate, but supportive is another thing. So you can, so for instance, for us, anybody that come perform at We Go Live are gonna feel warm.
Yeah.
Because as hosts, as producers of an event, it's also your job to teach that audience how to support your artist before the show even starts.
How do you do that?
You lay down some guidelines. You tell them, like, for instance, hey man, if you like what you hear, let me see you snap your fingers. Everybody snap your fingers.
Clap your hands, jingle your keys, tap
Clap
your
your, you
tables,
like it past you,
spit poet. You tell people
teach them how to support
the poet.
Right? So that now they can be a part of what's going on. Not just sitting there like, and not know what to do if they like what they hear, or, you know, just not understanding the dynamics of what's going on around them and how they should be conducting themselves versus, hey man, you know, everybody, we energize them, you know, we get them prepared for an amazing event where they hyped up, they ready. Like, man, I can't wait for this first artist to come out. It's not like that for everybody that produces events. They don't take the time to make sure they create an energy in the atmosphere that's conducive for the success of the artist and the event. And that's something that we do every event that we have. We make sure we go out there, we create an energy, because the energy you give is the energy you get. So, and the artists understand that. We let the artists know our expectations, and you let the audience know your expectations. So everybody's on the same page when it comes to the event. If everybody on the same page, you as an audience, you have a job to do. And that's to have a good time. But I can't make you have a good time. You have to choose to have a good time. Dig what I'm saying? And that's, sometimes you don't even know that as an audience. It makes sense. I can have a good time as long as I decide to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And that's your job as a host, as a producer, to make sure that you make it as easy on this artist as they making it on you to produce your next show. Because if they do a good ass job, then the next time you got to do an event, the people gonna come back because they did an excellent job. The audience was happy. The artist was happy with the audience. So the artist was like, man, I love performing at We Go Live. They tell the next artist, man, you got to perform at We Go Live. Man, the energy in there is crazy. You know what I mean? It works both ways.
The poets in the audience also encourage the
Other poets.
Other poets also encourage the people that's there to observe.
See, that's where my next question was going to come. When you have a audience that knows what they're coming from, or knows what they're coming for, and then you build that rapport, you build that relationship with the audience, so now they feel comfortable and they feel a part of the entire event, not just the poet or the artist, and you're just the audience. Like, the audience is also a part of the show and everything. Which, I mean, I would imagine that's awesome for someone who appreciates and likes poetry and spoken word and things like that. But my question is, when you have that set up, how are you able to critique yourself when you know that the energy is going to be positive all the time, when you know that they're going to come in because they know who you are and they're coming to support you, not necessarily to be entertained? Because one of the things about that entertainment factor is you can get genuine feedback. You know, this person had no idea who you were. They probably don't even like poetry or spoken word, but then they heard you. And that's a whole different ball game than someone coming in. So for artists like yourselves, poets, writers like yourselves, how do you get that feedback?
Man, should we be giving away this game? Like, no, for real. We asked the audience.
Okay.
We asked them what they like and what they didn't like.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna tell you how we asked them. Okay. I'm not gonna tell you how we get the information, but we ask the audience
and the poets
and the artists.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We ask, we pose real questions, and we really take it seriously how we can do a better job next time around. I don't care if we everything went off without a hitch. Something was wrong. What was
Yeah,
it?
we do that within ourselves too.
Something
we
was wrong.
sit and talk to us like to each other.
Okay.
Hey, what happened that we can do better on the following time? Like, what didn't go as smooth? Whether, regardless of what it is, it can be something very
Small,
minor.
yeah.
And we know that next time we have to improve on it. If I came 2 minutes late, that's something that I'm not supposed to be able, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
Not compromising. Not saying, well, it was only 2 minutes.
No,
It doesn't
it's 2
matter.
minutes.
It's 2 minutes. And so, not compromising, it goes a long way as far as you getting better and more proficient at what you're doing. You have to hold yourself to a standard and hold yourself and everybody that's a part of what you got going on. You got to hold each other accountable. And again, I'm not going to tell you how we get this information, but you asking us, how do we do? Man, we have to, you got anybody that got an event, if you're a producer, you have to take the time to find out what areas you need to improve in. You have to take the time. I don't care how amazing I don't care how much money you think you made. I don't,
There's always room
there's
for
always
improvement.
room for improvement. Exactly. And you have to take the time. You owe it to not just yourself. You owe it to your customers.
Yeah.
To take the time to say quality. Like I was talking to you earlier.
Yeah.
Consistency is what creates a continuous repeat customer base. If you're not consistent in what you're providing a customer, they will question what it is you're providing every time. You know what I'm saying? If you even if you were consistent 10 times in a row and then the 11th time you slip, they still gonna the 12th time they be like, ooh, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
One bad is
Like,
is bigger
real
than
talk.
a bigger impact than 11.
Bro, you can cook the heck out of some barbecue and be like, man, hey man, my dude, he the truth.
He the master chef.
He the master chef. You hear what I'm saying? And then you get one little piece of barbecue that's bleeding. It's like,
Hold on, wait a minute now.
now you checking every piece of meat.
Now you're telling somebody else.
Now you check,
Yeah.
hey man, check your meat. I got a bloody one. Check your. So now, no
You
matter
don't
how
ask
good, no matter how long your track record was for cooking good barbecue, now everybody's checking and critiquing everything you're doing now. Man, they're unsure. I mean, I don't want to bite into this and then, I don't want to get sick. You know what? I just rather not.
Then you.
I'm gonna just go up the street.
Customer who had high expectations to
No customer
And
at all.
and what you just did as well, my reputation with this person has now been tainted because I vouch for you. So now as your customer, I can't go to any more of my friends and tell them to come to your event because I've already taken a hit with this person that has now going to question everything I take them to because I told them, hey, if you come with me to this barbecue spot, I'm telling you it's the best thing.
Yeah.
So next time I'm like, man, come with me to this chicken
like,
spot.
oh,
Yeah, but you told me about that
nah.
barbecue spot. And so that's
Yeah.
something that not only producers miss, it's something that artists miss. And it's free game. It's free game. This is something that artists miss. As an artist, you cannot bring all of your fans to every event. You can't.
No, not
You
at
can't.
all.
And like, I can bring 100 people to your event. I can, but I won't. Because if I don't know what you cooking, I can't come tell my people to eat. I can't vouch for what you cooking. I can vouch for my part of the meal. I can vouch for my potato salad. I can't vouch for everything else that's going to be on the
You
menu.
might have some beans that everybody don't like.
You might have some people that don't eat pork. And you up there, you might cook the best pork chop in the world. But my people don't eat pork. You know what I'm saying? So now I haven't taken the time to survey your menu or decide whether or not your menu is going to be up to par for what they're expecting. So as an artist, you have a responsibility not to bring certain people to certain shows. But a lot of artists don't think like that. They automatically trying to tell everybody, hey, I'm over here. Hey, I'm over there. Hey, I'm over there. And they start seeing people trickle and fall off of their following. They
Because
stop
of the
coming
event
because
wasn't-
every time they follow you somewhere, I mean, you was good. This potato salad was the bomb. But the rest of this was garbage. And I shouldn't have had to eat all of this just to get to your
Don't say it
potato
like
salad.
that.
That's how you lose a repeat customer base. I'm just saying.
Nice. Free game alert.
Free game.
Well, to me, this sounds kind of like the conversation that we had earlier when I was getting you to talk about why the certain artists that you pick for the genre of music, why you're,
Right.
a little bit on hip
Why do
hop.
we handpick certain
Right.
artists for We Go Live?
Right. So explain that a little bit and why, kind of like hip hop is a little, questionable sometimes when someone approaches you about performing at a type of event. Because again, to me, it sounds a lot like what you just said about you can't bring everybody.
This is pretty much what it is. It's about
You can't. You got to understand what your customer base want. And I might like you as a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
I might like your style. I might like everything that you do as an artist. But it's not about what I like. It's about what they're paying for.
Right.
What
I can
they're
see
paying
a trap
for.
artist we're opening up for.
I mean, but they could just depends on their packaging and delivery. You know what I'm saying?
That's a big deal.
You want me to take what you
do you guys like say, I'm coming to you, hey man, I got something I want to perform. Do you want to hear it? Do you want to know all of that? Like
For We Go Live, the kickback,
both of them.
but I know for both of them, but for the kickback before, like it people look at it and it's like, oh, it's a kickback, so it's an open mic. It's not an open mic. It's not an open mic. So you can't just come and say, hey, I want to spit. Well, before you get on the stage, you gotta, if you come there, generally he'll say, hey, we finna have an artist meeting. Have the meeting. Boom, come talk to me. Let me hear what you got. You can't just get in. It's a kickback, so of course nobody paid to get in there. But let me hear what you got to say, or let me hear you before you get on this stage. You can't just get on the stage and think, oh, it's cool. It's not an open mic. So it's different. For We Go Live at the Improv, he already have in his head what he want or how he want it, or we already talked about it. The big thing is the quality of the show. Like it has to be consistent. So I'm gonna let you take this one because I don't want to say what.
All right. Well, I think if you're fair across the board, some people might not like it, and that's cool, but they can never say we're not fair. We treat everybody fairly. We make our selection process, we do it fairly. I'm not gonna go into details because I don't owe that to anybody. How we select, who we want on a particular show. I understand what I want to put out to the customer base that we have coming. We have a responsibility to make sure that we putting out the right product. So I put it like this: anybody that likes Toyota will love a Lexus, but everybody that love a Lexus is not gonna like a Toyota. So I can bring a Toyota lover to a Lexus show; they're gonna be just as happy. But I can't provide a Toyota show to Lexus customers. I can't do that because although it's made by the same manufacturer, right, and it's a great vehicle, right, run smooth, it's great, but you got some people that just expect a different level of quality. And if you're not there yet, I'm not saying you're not good. I'm not saying you don't have the potential to be great. I'm saying you're not what this customer base is looking for that I'm targeting for this particular event. I will gladly support what you're doing. I will gladly support where you're going. I will gladly help push you, help you grow, and do all the things necessary to get you to a place where you're successful in what you're doing. We have absolutely no problem helping anyone, but I'm not going to cut corners or sacrifice, my reputation or expectations of my customers to make any artist give them a warm and fuzzy, because at the end of the day, all we have is our reputation, our track record when it comes to, being a producer or, being an artist or being someone that provides a service of some type. And so, when it comes to us selecting artists, we want to make sure that, hey man, you're going to be the quality. Our motto is quality, consistency,
and creativity.
Quality, consistency, and creativity. And that's not going to be compromised. Those three things we're not going to compromise on. We're not going to cut corners on, because that's what the customer base expects. That's their expectation. And let me touch on one thing right quick. You hear me say a lot of times, you hear me say customers. Mm-hmm. Although we're artists. And this is another free game. Every fan.
Free game alert.
Free game. Well, as artists, you got to understand you're not doing this. Like some artists just do it just because they do it for love. But
it's a hobby.
we're in business.
Yeah.
No one's in business to not make money. Okay. So as an artist, oftentimes you equate fans with money, and that's not necessarily true. Customers equal money. I'm a fan of a lot of people's work.
I see what you're saying.
I'm a huge fan of comic books. Ask me how many I bought. You know what I'm saying? You can have fans all day long, but are they customers? And every customer, guess what, is not a fan. That's just like you got a lot of haters that'll buy an album just to critique it, just to find something wrong with it and get online and bash it. But guess what? They bought that album, so they automatically are customers.
They gave you free promo.
You can have a customer
not just that,
and
but-
just be a supporter of somebody, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But we looking at customer base, people
Yeah.
that spend their money for your product or spend their money to have time with you, spend their money
And they're not gonna do that without the consistency.
without the
Quality.
consistency, the quality, and the creativity,
creativity.
right? So we speak a lot on customer base. I love my fans, don't get me wrong, but as a businessman,
I like my
my customers are priority because as a business owner, I have a responsibility to provide them the quality, the consistency, and the creativity they come to expect from We Go Live.
So, general question: based on what we're just talking about, how important is branding?
Branding, man, branding
Because
is,
now everybody can't walk around with the We Go Live and say, you know,
I mean, branding is absolutely
Like a
important. But again, with branding,
www.
right? There you go. Check us out, www.
Instagram, We Go Live TV.
You know, yeah, We Go Live TV at Instagram at We Go Live TV. Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah. Follow us. No, but seriously, when it comes to branding, you still have that consistency that has to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't just say We Go Live and then we don't do nothing to be
Well, like I said,
consistent behind it.
we talk about the potato salad had a brand,
Yeah.
or the pork chop had a brand,
right?
But it was still
Right.
Yeah.
It was still nasty. Exactly. It was still nasty. So it's like, what are you going to do with your brand? And branding is very important, but I think just as equally important is, what's equally important is not just the branding of what you're doing, but really the reputation of it. The reputation of what it is that you do is very important. Like your reputation is something that will open doors that your money can't. Your reputation is something that will build relationships that your money can't. And, you know, people will deal with you just based on your reputation. You see what I'm saying? You could be a nobody, but if your reputation, as they say, precede you, oh, Scott Free, okay, I heard your name once or twice, and ain't like I got 1 million on me, but because of the reputation that comes along with the name of Scott Free or Courtney Lynn, they're like, you know what? I heard a lot of good things about you. Let's see, you know, we'd like to see what you're working with because, man, the Houston Improv, they got us in, we got in the door just based on the fact that reputation. Not because I had money to buy my way into the Houston Improv. You dig what I'm saying? It was reputation that opened the door. And so that's without a brand. I didn't have a brand per se that everybody is just following behind. Like we launched, we you know what I'm saying? We catapulted our brand once we got in the door, but the brand didn't get us in the door. The reputation did.
Yeah.
So you developed the reputation and the buzz before you named it, before you branded it.
Right. I mean,
Most people
don't get me
come up with
wrong.
their logo and that brand, and then say, okay, from now on, now that we got a brand, now we can go build the reputation.
Yeah.
Check it out. Like, don't get me wrong. They wanted Scott Free at the Improv. I said we're doing We Go Live once we get in here. We had We Go Live before we went to the Houston Improv, but the reputation
Came from the kickbacks, right?
not
just the
the reputation of the show. Like for instance, my reputation, her reputation.
Yeah.
To say, you know
And
what?
as individuals.
Okay.
Now
Well, I see
because
what
we're in here, hey, let's take the kickback and do the kickback on a whole nother level here at the
Let's
Houston
expand.
Improv. Right? So it wasn't the brand that opened the door for the Houston Improv. It was the relationship and the reputation, whether it's reputation that opened the door for the relationship with the Houston Improv to say, okay, yeah, you guys come on in. Whatever you guys do, great. You know what I'm saying? What we want to do, We Go Live. Okay, great. Because they trust you at your reputation. They didn't know nothing about nobody. Nobody had ever been to the kickback. You know what I'm saying? So it was not like they saw we go live and say, "Oh, we go."
And it
No,
wasn't
we want
like
you.
we weren't having like, our kickbacks are small, so they're personal. In order, kick the shows at the Improv, it's a
Yeah.
larger crowd, so it wasn't like,
500
oh yeah,
people.
bring your 50 people to the Improv.
Yeah.
No, it's like, okay, you want this here? Okay, let's see what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Is you gonna get 500 people in here?
Yeah.
And we did.
So we go from so listen. We went from 50 people
to
to 500 people in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So like, because they called and said he said, I'm not gonna say names. No plugs. No. Can't get y'all in there with my man. Yeah. But anyway, they called. It was like, hey man, we got this date. Do you want it? And I was like, ooh.
And it was like we just had a
3
show
weeks.
at the Houston Improv it was a February show, so it was February 13th.
I think so.
So yeah, it was
Day
like
before Valentine's Day.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
you
day
sure
before
was.
Valentine's Day.
It
So
was.
it was like we found out about it. We didn't get the tickets until a week later.
Right.
After it was at the Sunday after.
It's like this 20 something. It
Yeah,
was a
so we
20
had
something.
3 weeks to sell tickets for March 13th,
So
and we had 10 artists, 12.
yeah, 12.
12.
But this was the
For the
thing. This
improv
was
show.
he said, hey man, we got this date. Scott, he could have called somebody else, bro. Hey Scott, we got this date. Do you want it? I'm like, dang.
This is like
I was like, man,
quick.
look, I'm looking at the time. I'm like, man, we got how many tickets they want to sell at least, and you got to sell at least 300 tickets, pretty much, somewhere like that. You got 2 weeks to do it, pretty much 2.5 weeks, because you really had to turn your money in advance. They're gonna say so. Even though we had a little longer till the show, the Improv need their money early because they need to know staffing. They need to know how they gonna do you know what I mean? How much stuff they need to have in the building. So for their logistical reasons, they had to have the money up front. How many tickets are sold up front, right? So anyway, at first I honestly turned it down. At first, I honestly was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna have to pass because I'm looking at the window. I'm like, you know what, I haven't even booked nobody. I gotta book people. We gotta design a show. We gotta figure out what kind of platform we're gonna do. We got all this in 3 weeks, and then so I turned it down at first. He said okay. But I think he waited like an hour or two later, and he picked the phone and called me back. He said, look, man, he said, I haven't gone to the Improv yet and let them know your decision. But I tell you what, man, he said, I can't promise you that this opportunity is going to come back around, bro. Like, you sure you don't want to shoot your shot? I say, man, fuck it, let's do it, dog. And so from that point on, man, shit, we sold out the Houston Improv in 2 weeks. From 50 people to 500 people in 2 weeks, man. Two weeks in about 2-3 days. But that was just like they looked at it like, well, what just happened? And then on top of that, they said we were the first to what they say? We were the first to be.
We were the first show to make sure that
Everything went without a hitch.
Yeah,
we was the first show in since they've been doing it for like 10 years. We were the first show to turn in all our money on time. To have no ticket issues, to have the staff
not have any complaints
about any other customers or the artists. We were the first to start on time
and to
finish on time. Like they was just like, man, look.
What do you attribute that to?
Man, I attribute
especially coming from like, because I just can't get out of my head that you did it in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Like that's my whole thing. Like you listing all these things that you had to do, and I'm just sitting there like 2 weeks.
Literally, man, it's because we had a great supporting cast of people, including the Soul Poetry, and I got shout out to Soul Poetry, man. If it were not for them, the door would have not opened for us. Yeah. So I have nothing but love and respect for their whole team. If without them, it would not have gone the way it did. Secondly, I would say we set an expectation and we did not compromise, nor did we allow anyone else to compromise. We held each other accountable.
We stayed on top of things. Like it wasn't, that's okay if it's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Have this, do this. Like I'm not trying to be your mama, but hello. I mean, I'm not trying to have any hiccups. I don't want to see anything go wrong. This is our first time doing a show here, so I expect it to go smooth as possible. And that's pretty much kind of how,
I had done the Houston Improv.
But I had.
I had performed. I had been behind the scenes working on shows previously. I started out in Houston Improv back in, I think it was 2013 or 14, somewhere like that. We was doing a show called Food for Thought. Um, I don't want to get into all the details about that, but I had never had the opportunity to produce my own event.
Production.
So it was like, this is our first time in the producer's chair saying, okay, hey, this is our baby.
event.
We created the whole lineup. We,
Did you perform too?
Yeah,
Okay.
we performed, we hosted, the whole nine, and it was our chance to take it to a whole nother level. And I believe we did exactly what we set out to do, that night. And it showed, man, in the results. Like, they were just like, man, you guys did everything right. They try to find something like, what can we find?
Yeah, it was difficult for even us to find.
It was, but
To see what you could have done.
we found some things.
Oh yeah,
we definitely found some things, but overall, as a collective, man, the show was amazing. The audience was amazing. The host of the event, meaning the venue, their staff was A1.
The DJ.
The DJ, yeah. Shout out to Lady DJ TNT. Yeah, man, it was just amazing from beginning to the end. The support that we had was second to none, man. I have no complaints. I have none.
So, personal question: what do you guys? I want to say appreciate more, feel strongly, feel drawn to more, performance side, putting together, or production side.
Performance. I mean, he likes to produce, and which I don't mind. But I started this thing off as a poet, so that's where my mind is. But now it's crazy because I could care less about performing when I go somewhere. It's just because, like, I mean, I'm gonna still write, but it's like, oh, let me think about what I'm gonna do, and then I just so. But for our shows, I don't mind. It's easy or whatever, even for our kickbacks. But it was fun to do the producing side, to sit back and discuss with him, and but just the day of the shows are so crazy. Like, he gets upset with me because I'm ripping and running, and he feel like I shouldn't be ripping and running.
Not that I feel like you shouldn't. You shouldn't on the day
I
of the
shouldn't
show.
be.
You have. That's why people have assistants.
And see,
And realistically, you should not be sweating out your hair.
I wouldn't. I wear a ponytail.
But again, though, you were running around there. I'm not gonna put you on podcasts like that. I'm not gonna do that. But you and I both know, now she thinking about, at the time she didn't like what I had to say. But in hindsight, like now, taking a step back and saying, okay, yeah, I can see what you just got some
people asking you, oh,
they
this
trying to
and
pull
that
you.
and this and this. So
But
they know
isn't
that you
isn't that the conflict sometimes that you get between being a performer and a producer? Because, like, one side of your brain is, what am I going to do? The other side is making sure everybody else is doing what they're supposed to do. And so when you are trying to coordinate everything, I mean, I can see you forgetting, even if you had an assistant, you probably forget that they existed. Because
your brain is like scatterbrain. You're thinking of so much, but people are pulling you here and there, or I need this or I need that. And I'm like,
not the day of the show.
Right.
And see, that's why you got to set that expectation and say, hey, look, the day of the show, and we did a good job as far as the artists were concerned. But the day of the show, you have, like, when you have customers that want you to come to the front with their ticket, or, hey, I need to see you out. Like, nah, that's what a green room is for. That's why you're supposed to be in the green room, away from everybody until you're supposed to come out, because people will throw you off your. You know what I'm saying? They'll throw you off, man, and then you be all out of, energy be wrong and stuff. So
you out of whack.
You just gotta stay in your pocket. Once you get there, find your comfort zone and stay there, and don't be, allow only maybe one or two people to come to you. You shouldn't have to go run out there and check on folks, but when you have, like, again, shout out to Soul Poetry, when you have a supporting cast that they can take some of that pressure off of you. It just makes you doing your job much easier come go time, because before that, man, you do a lot of ripping and running, but when it's go time, it's like, nah, man, I can't Like at this
Like,
point,
don't.
do not bother me. If you're not here by if you're not here by 6:00, I'm out of pocket at 6:30. After 6:30, you will not see me. You will not hear from me. You will not be able to communicate with me. If you want something, talk to this person. You know what I mean? Because I need that time to get in my zone. You know what I'm saying? Because people that don't perform or don't even produce, they don't understand the pressure. They don't understand how nerve-wracking it can be, especially when you're trying to be hands off after 6:30 and you like, man, what's going on out there? Because you really want to know. But if you know you have a competent, capable supporting cast, some of that is just be like, man, I'm good because I know so-and-so is out there. I'm not worried because they know my heart. They know what I like. They doing it the way I expect it to be done. And I have no worries. But, that comes from experience. Like I started producing shows in Iraq. That's why I started producing shows. I started doing poetry in Baghdad. 2007 is where, my introduction to poetry began in Baghdad, Iraq. So I had been producing shows in Iraq before I came to Houston. So pressure, we've gotten attacked in the middle of a poetry show. You know what I mean? Boom, 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 sirens going off and stuff like that in the middle of poetry shows. We've had, folks that would convoy from a different base, you know what I'm saying, through Baghdad to get to our poetry shows. So I've been under pressures that some folks would think were crazy, you know what I mean? And so in some situations stateside, it's just, to me, it's not that big a deal, but I still understand.
I would imagine.
I still understand.
I can imagine that guy that had to go through bullets to get to you and be like, you better be good, homie.
Yeah. The pressure is there. Like, man, I didn't care all the way through.
I just risked my life to come see you, so you better be
Your man's waiting on me to come out now. I gotta
literally, bro. But shout out to all the service members out there, man. Thank you for your service. We appreciate it. All you veterans out there. But we did what we did to give them a slice of home and trying to be normal,
normalcy.
to take your mind off of where you really are right now. And we did a 2-hour show, to do that. And we would get, 200 to 300 troops, man, to come out and civilians as well, to come out and just decompress for 2 hours, laugh with us, cry with us, dance with us, sing with us. And that was even shows we had bigger crowds. We had 1,000, we had 800. You know what I mean? It's been bigger crowd. We've had different ages, different ranks. Generals in the audience. Like 2 stars. Like big wigs. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, we out here keeping it real, where soldiers really don't have the liberty of speaking freely in the normal atmosphere, in a normal setting, military setting. Whereas they got on stage and it's like they talk about stuff and get certain things off their chest, and it's like their sergeant majors and their company commanders are like, you know what, I'm letting them have this moment of speaking freely, speaking their minds and letting stuff off their chest, because they might have got in some trouble today and felt like Sarge was out of line, and I can't stand when Sarge do what he do, but he can't say that to Sarge.
So he
can't say that to, he can get in the form.
I would go.
You gotta be tactful though. You gotta be tactful, because you still gotta deal with that person after you come off that stage.
Why I couldn't do it
in a gunfight at that.
In
a gunfight at that.
But it was a way for them to have some piece of sanity, man. And get some things off their chest. Hey man, it's just poetry. It's just poetry.
It's never just poetry.
It's not, but it is. When you're in that kind of environment, people killing themselves, people committing suicide. And so this is a form of therapy, man. It's sometimes poetry can be the one thing that save a life.
You can get into that too.
You know what I'm saying? You can save somebody's life through a poem, man, and it's literally happened. I've seen it happen.
So we ain't gonna let you off scot-free, no pun intended. But what is your passion? She answered this. So where did your passion come from? The production side, since that's what you have a lot of experience in, as well as performing. So where's your zone?
Oh man, to be honest, I like producing, but I like I don't even know if it's called educating.
Everything is educating. I'm a teacher, by the way, but
But I like free game, right? I like being able to take somebody's situation and show them what they missing, what they really have, and not even realize they have it. You know what I mean? And it's like, bro,
Yeah.
I was
I know
talking
what you
to,
mean.
I was talking to, I'm not gonna say her name, but you know what I'm talking about. I was talking to an artist the other night, um, and I told her, I said, when you gonna do your own thing? She was like, well, I don't wanna, I don't wanna work. I don't wanna, not work
Yeah.
as in have a job, but she's like, man, it's too much work doing this, that, and the other. And I pointed out some things to her, and I said, man, you already have these few elements already, and
Under
you're
your,
not,
like, at your
you
disposal.
already, you're already working in this area. You're just not working for you. And she was like, well, what do you mean? This is what I mean by that. Boom, 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 boom. Just like,
So you was to her what Trey was.
right. Just like like what I said tonight. Free game on the concept of customers versus fans. Free game on the concept of bringing all your fans to somebody else's table to eat. You know what I mean? Like, that's free games to
Little
as
gem, little jewels to
little
drop on
jewels
people.
to drop on folks. I love that part of what I love that part of being a leader. I love that part of being able to, open someone's perspective, you know what I mean, to where they see more in themselves than they thought that was initially there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like
it's
that.
just amazing how what you're saying in poetry is the same thing as me in the classroom with kids, and especially the behavior class. So the only way for me to get through to certain kids sometimes or to change behaviors is to show that potential because they think that that's where my potential is. They think that I've been successful at being bad. I've been successful. I've been sent to you because I put in a whole bunch of work in being bad. I was like gang members and whatever.
Right.
You put in a whole bunch of work at doing something.
Right.
And so, but and we all have this internal desire to be successful in something. So if being bad is your success, then that's what you're gonna be the baddest bad kid.
Right.
If you being good is successful, then that kid is gonna continue to strive to be
best.
good.
Right.
So for me, it's like, all right, well, some of you guys have been lost in being successful at being bad. Let me show you the stuff that you didn't realize that you could do. I would point out certain things in kids, like even in the bad situation, like, all right, you see, you just caused all of that over there. Do you understand how powerful you are amongst this group? They could have ignored you. They could have been like, oh, whatever. But for some reason, this class or this group of people is drawn to you, even though you're leading them into the wrong way.
So why don't
Think
you try
about
to lead
what
them
you
in a good way?
right
Yeah.
now. Of course, tell them that to a third grader, it might not, hit
No,
as hard. But what I'm, I mean, it's just cool to, and like you were saying, like you don't know, you're not sure if it's education. Man, everything you say here is education.
Right.
Every time you speak on a mic is education.
Right.
Because you say sometimes you saving lives. Poetry can really be how people receive certain messages
Especially
through
if it's
poetry. I can
relatable.
talk to you, but it's different if or you could talk to me, but it's different if I came to your show. It's entirely different ball game. So man, so yeah, man. I mean, like would you say this is what you do, and like I said, the leadership and be able to expose people's potential to themselves first of all, versus before an audience. I mean, that's powerful.
I think
that's
oftentimes it's hard to hear that you need to do better, especially when you feel as though you're doing your best. You know what I'm saying? It's oftentimes when people really think I'm doing my best. And I don't know if it was my son. It was my son I was talking to. I was talking to Jace, and I was telling him, you never should want to reach your full potential. And let me explain why I say that. I say that because there's always room for improvement. So there should never be a point where you've tapped your full potential, because then you're saying there's nowhere else for me to grow. You know what I mean? You should always be chasing another level within yourself. And to say, man, to tell me you've done the best that you can do would be you saying that there's no greatness left in you. There's nothing greater that you have within you. You know what I mean? And that's just simply not true. But a lot of people don't want to hear that, because to them, they feel as though there's a level of failure implied in that statement, right?
To get better.
Right? Right. But then again, there's some things you can only learn from failure. So, like the Wright brothers, they didn't put a plane in the sky without crashing a few. There are some things they could only learn from crashing a few times, and then they finally figured out the right formula to say, okay, this is how you fly. And that's, let me say this, success is only a mindset away. Yeah, success is, it's only a mindset away. And so now that you know how to fly, it's not, flying isn't, it's funny because flying is not the goal, landing is. It's like, if I learn how to fly today and I say, man, I'm trying to get to New York, and I take off in this plane and I get to New York and I'm flying over New York and I'm finally where I want to be, but I never took the time to learn how to land and be successful at where I wanted to be. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's oftentimes we want success, but we don't prepare for success. I want to be in New York, but I'm not prepared to be in New York because I didn't learn how to land. So you can fly smooth over your target because all you was concentrating on was learning how to fly. And you never got to where you really wanted to be because you didn't take the time to learn how to land.
It's funny you said success is a mindset away. And I watched another interview with Malik Yoba. And I know this isn't his original quote, but he said, whether you believe you're going to fail or succeed, you're right. Like, whichever one. You believe you're going to fail, you're right. You believe you're going to succeed, you're right. So when you say success is a mindset away,
yeah.
I believed I was going to be there,
Yeah.
somehow. You might start it off like, I don't know, kind of like the improv show when you first got it, like, I don't know. But, something clicked eventually.
But
I knew we was
clicked
capable.
eventually.
Don't get me wrong. I knew we were capable of doing a great event. I didn't know if we could do it in the time.
We're going to pull it off the next.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But again, sometimes you just got to take your shot, man, shoot your shot and step up to the plate. And that's the thing. Like, I knew we had 3 weeks. She knew we had 3 weeks. What we had to do was step up to the plate and execute this thing to where we could be successful in 3 weeks. And again, real talk. Again, if anybody out there, that's going to be listening to this podcast, man, don't be so bent on becoming successful without learning how to stay successful. That's like you wanting to hit the lotto,
right?
And make $1 million. Right,
Yep.
but you don't know how to maintain $1 million. So guess what?
You blow through it.
If you have $1 million in the bank and you spend $1, you're no longer a millionaire. No matter how you slice it, you can have 99 and 99. You're not a millionaire though. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't learn how to stay successful, you might be successful, but to stay successful is the goal. That's the real goal. How do you land at success? You might make it to success, but how do you land at success? And if you don't take the time to learn how to land at success, you're going to continue flying over it. You'll be there. I'm right here in New York. I can see it, but you can't enjoy it because you can't get down there. You can't stay down there. You can't be among the people that you really trying to get there with. The success. You can't be in that crowd of success because you didn't learn how to get there.
In a lot of my interviews, like I said, because I'm a big reader and I work with kids, so I'm teaching a lot and learning about just mentality and mental health as a whole. I always go back to your opportunity that you originally turned down, then you picked back up. When you finally decided to, what was the difference with your mental state before when you heard the idea and was like, nah, but then about, I guess, a week before the show when you saw the momentum leading up to the show and saying, oh, hey, I actually am doing this within 2 weeks.
And funny thing is, we didn't know we sold out the show until we was told. So we didn't know the progress.
You were just working.
We were just working.
We were just
working. Yeah, exactly. We were just working. Just going, hey, man, we selling these tickets. We promoting. We moving what we have to move, And he gave me a head count. He said, okay, look, we had 300. I think he said we had 350. 345. We had 345.
That was like at, 9 o'clock?
Yeah, 9 o'clock, something like that.
A couple of days before the show? Or a day before?
It was like, like a week almost before the show. It was 5 days at least.
Okay, so
it's at least 5 days before the show. and he, he just gave me a head count. Okay, look, free. We got 350 tickets. So in my mind, I'm like, man, cool. We met the quota.
It was Friday.
We straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoo, God, more weight off my
As
shoulder.
long as we got the 350 in the bag, we was good.
Like 2 hours, 3 hours later. Was it 2 or 3 hours later?
Literally,
it was like 2 or 3 hours later. He was like, yo, stop selling tickets. We gotta stop selling. Improv needs to stop selling tickets right now. There are no more seats left. We're oversold.
Like literally almost 200 more tickets within 2 hours.
Yeah. And it wasn't us just mass marketing. It wasn't that. But again, when you have reputation, when you have a consistency, people might not like our methods, but they gotta respect it because they know that, okay, when it comes to Scott Free, when it comes to We Go Live, they're not cutting no corners. So you either gonna have to bring your A game or stay home. You know what I mean? So my goal, even when I started out back with Saint, when we started out doing live and direct, I told him, man, I wanted it to mean something to an artist for them to perform on that stage. I don't want a open mic because all that means is you got there early enough to put your name on the list. I want an artist to feel like, man, if we perform at We Go Live, then that means that boy. If I tell you, if you know, listen, after talking to us, right? If an artist came to you and said, "Yo, yeah, man, I performed at We Go Live," you automatically gonna say, "Well, I know Free. He must have something with him." Cause Free and Courtney Lynn ain't gonna let nobody just perform on their stage, right? So it's like a notch on the belt to say, man. I mean, it might not be nothing to anybody now, but at some point in time. It's just like saying I performed at the Apollo, like you saying.
Well, that's how it was originally. When I performed for the Dope Art Show, I had been to this show a couple of times. I had seen it, and when
is that all white event that they did?
No,
that's something different.
Yeah,
because I know you said Toby and
he did a show quarterly. So he had a show in February with like the Lovers Lane show. Then he had like a show in June or July. It's like Welcome to Summer. Then he would have his farewell summer, and then he'd have a 90s Christmas. But the show that I did was Farewell Harvey, because Harvey had just hit. And before the show, it wasn't like you can just get up there on Toby's stage and just get up there. You had to audition for the show. So it was kind of like that meant something for me. I had been to several shows before, but every time I've been, I saw dope poets. I saw dope singers. I saw, it was a quality show. And so when I got first asked, hey, you should go audition for the show. I'm like, man, if I make it, I'm like, I did the Dope Art Show. That was a big thing to me. So I auditioned and then they called me back. And it was crazy because Harvey hit the day after I auditioned. So I didn't hear anything for like 2 weeks. Right. 2 weeks, and everybody else getting called. And they was like, we've been trying to call you. We ain't got your number. But they had, my number was 713. They had 714. And so like my friend, he was like, we've been trying to call you. They want to book you for the show. But it was that it meant something for me to be on that show.
Because you've been doing shows prior to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess what stands out when you're telling this story is the fact that not once did you be like, man, I've already been doing this. What I got to audition for?
Yeah, no, not at all. Because that was, like I said, I've been to several of those shows before, so I know the quality of the show. Like I've been to several of them, so I saw like the different poets that they had, and even though they weren't poets that I knew, when I heard them on that stage, they were dope poets. And even when I auditioned for the show, and I saw like one of my favorite poets, her name is Phenomenon, the poet, and she's like so dope. And when she auditioned the same day I did, and when I heard her, I was like, ain't no way they gonna pick me. Like, because she was, she was that good to me. So it was just like me seeing the quality of what they had, and I guess I didn't think of myself like that just yet, but I was just hoping. And so when I got to be a part of that show, that meant something to me. It wasn't like, oh, well, I'm just finna be, and it wasn't just the stage itself, it was the show. Because he could have that show anywhere. It's not about the venue he had it at, it's about the reputation of the show, the Dope Art Show. Right. So that meant something for me to be on that show. Not everybody could have been on that show. Yeah. You audition. So that's the way I think of it with us. Like, everybody can't be on this show. And although we don't host auditions, we generally know the people that we're going to put on this stage. Like, we know the quality, the consistency. We know their creativity and what they're going to bring to the show.
And even then, knowing that, we still tell you,
What
step
we
it up.
expect.
You need to step it up. You could be dope and ain't, and just take it however you want it. That's cool. But it's, I'm telling you, I need more.
This is what we
I
expect
need
of
more.
you.
I need more. Because at the end of the day, I want more for my customers. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
I
even for
want more.
us. Like,
I expect more. We require more of you. You know what I mean? And
Because the customers require more.
that, I mean, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we continue to raise that bar, continue not just to raise the bar for us, but they walk away with another level to them and saying, "Dang, bro, like I'm never going back to doing this the other way that I used to do it.
yeah.
I'm never going back to doing it a different way. Like this has opened my eyes to a whole nother level of me. You know what I'm saying? What I can do, what I can provide, and that's our goal, man. To just bring out the best and pull out the best in every artist that we put on that stage, and just show them that, man. Hey, look, we believe in you. We believe if we didn't put you on this stage, we wouldn't have put you on the stage if we didn't believe in you. You know what I mean? We're not here to prostitute anybody's gift. We're not here to get anything from from you. We're here to grow with you. We're here to entertain with you. We're here to
Have fun
have
with you.
fun with you. We're here to have, we're here to create an experience with you. We want your customers as well as your fans to be as pleased with everyone else on this stage as they are with you.
Yeah.
Do you guys get a do you get a chance to learn from the artists that you book or other poets that you?
Yes. Yes. Good and bad.
That's
Definitely
true. That's
so.
true.
Especially
That's
if
true.
we tell you things ahead of time,
Yeah.
on what we expect, and then it's not done, then it's a learning experience.
For us too.
For us, it's like, okay, now we know
Yeah.
how to handle the situation going forward.
Yeah.
And even for, artists who get up there and kill it, it's like, dang, okay, cool. Now I know, like, it's funny because I take a lot of stuff from different artists.
Wait a second. You gotta clarify that because that sounds like you
No. I was
clarify
going to. Yeah, I was going to, like, as far as, just feedback from them. Like, not a lot of, but some poets that I'm cool with are my friends. Like, I consider them friends. So they give me positive feedback, when I need it. And even when I don't ask for it, they give it anyway. So I take a lot, I understand, and I take a lot of constructive criticism from them. And we have fun. And it's mainly from him, if you want me to be honest. He very, yeah. He's very, look, this is why you need to do this is what you need to do. And so I'm like,
a lot of times you be like,
no, I do. Because,
good Lord.
Yeah.
That's the artist in you.
yes,
I'm just
exactly.
trying to help.
But I'm not gonna go there while
Please
we on
don't.
camera.
Please don't.
Yes, so you might want to hush. But
We gotta have a part 2 where we sit down on the couch and talk about your.
Hey, sit down. Lay.
Bro.
Oh man.
I'm not, man. Look.
All right, so here's something you can do. Is
Listen.
I just want you guys to take the time to do a little promo. Let know where you can get contacted, and if there's any artists that are interested in reaching out to you guys, how they can. As much as about your kickback, I know that's a quiet thing. You have to know it, which I love. By the way, I love. Like, I forgot it was an event that I was planning on doing, and we had the idea of not doing flyers and promotion, but just giving certain people business cards with an address on the back. So, I mean, that just intrigues me how your quiet promo, kind of how we talked about Beyonce, when you get to a certain level to where you can just make a music and just put it out there without saying anything. And you still go platinum, word of mouth. The next day you still got 2 million, So, yeah. Again, as much as you can, that fits in you guys' promo style. Just let everybody know who's listening. Where they can find you, how they can get a hold of you if they want to perform or just show up as a customer to support.
Well, I can be found directly at Poetically Courtney Lynn on Instagram. However, we do have an Instagram page, We Go Live TV. Okay. We have a Facebook page as well, We Go Live TV. For our event itself, there is a link in the bio on the Instagram page.
Okay, the
If
We
you'd
Go
like
Live
to get,
TV.
yes,
Okay.
We Go Live TV. It's a link for our May-H.A.M show. Also, the link is available on the Facebook page. If you'd like to email us, you can send us an email at watchmegolive
at gmail.com
at gmail.com.
or wego@wegolivetv.com.
Yes.
Yeah. You can follow me at Scott Free Poetry on Instagram. You can also follow me on Facebook, Scott Free Poetry. You can find me under that as well. I do have an album. It's called The Vibe, VIBE. Look for Scott Free Poetry on any major platform. And the album, once again, is called The Vibe. We on Spotify, we on Google Play, we on iTunes, YouTube, you name it. Pandora. Just look for Scott Free Poetry, and the album is called We Go Live. I am working on the second album. You know what I'm saying? I can't give you a launch date just yet. And the good thing about being independent is I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
I just want to be in the video. That's all.
Hey man, it's all good. It's all good. We need to do that. Speaking of videos,
we are about
We
to
Go
launch our
Live.
website.
Yeah, speaking of videos, we will be airing or pushing out videos for the We Go Live at the improv shows.
The improv.
The improv shows will be having video footage for that.
Kickback still quiet.
Kickback is still intimate. It's not exclusive, but you know, hey man, if you want to come kick it with us, you got to keep up with us, and that's just really what it is.
Like
you know what
Instagram,
I
mean? Like
We Go Live TV.
Yeah,
we
We
will
Go
post
Live
it,
TV.
but you got to keep up.
Yeah,
like
and we ain't gonna mass promote it. You know what I mean? So you just got to keep up with us. You might see it and it might get pulled down. You know what I mean? You might put it up for a couple hours, boom, snatch it off. And you know, the ones that were paying attention, they got it. And the ones that weren't didn't. And then
think about it. It's every first Friday.
Yeah, but
so
still, sometimes people need reminders, but the ones that looking for it don't need a reminder.
Exactly.
You know,
and
they
if you
gonna
really
come. They
want
gonna
to come,
catch
you're
up
gonna
with
put
you.
it in your calendar.
Exactly.
People do that these days. They put things in their calendars on their phones.
But I'm gonna say this: when you mentioned, "Hey, man, that intrigues me." That's you know, I like that concept. You also have to anybody listening that want to promote in that way. You also have to be willing to accept the fact that you may not get
the crowd that you want.
But don't judge the size of a man's ministry by the size of his congregation. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it like that.
But I mean, also too is the consistency.
Not just that, but the quality of people that will be there.
Yes,
those are the people you want there.
I don't care if it's 5 people in the audience or it's 500. We're still going to give you a hell of a show regardless,
right?
And we're gonna have fun.
I also feel like too, it's very powerful when someone, when we went back to the food situation, when someone genuinely goes to, hey, Miss Lynn, I really need you to come and check out Scott Free, versus, man, we just got a flyer. You want to go check the dude out? Right? Like someone who's been there, someone who's a customer has a different, genuine.
You need to see this guy.
Yeah.
Project, their
That's
vibe when they
excitement.
explain to bring you here.
Exactly.
It's different. So, it's easier to me, for someone to tell me to come see because this dude is dope versus I might have caught the Instagram.
I'm gonna be over here,
I think that's more powerful when you actually have genuine customers, genuine audiences.
Yeah.
Doing
I've had people, man,
like
that told me, dude, I had a guy, and you gotta understand, these tickets are $30 a piece. I had a guy one time say, Scott Free, give me 20 tickets. Give me 20 tickets. I said, man, he said, don't worry about the people. Just give me 20 tickets. I'm gonna bring the people. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Yeah. But he was that excited and he felt that confident in what we had going that he said, man, give me 20 tickets. I'm gonna bring those 19 people with me.
And he did.
And he did. You know what I'm saying? And that's because of the consistency, man. Anybody listening, man, do not waver. Do not just compromise to just make a buck, man. Don't do it.
Well, again, like I said, I always, speak about, read about, and promote, mental health and stuff like that. And I gotta personally say, like, it for me, it takes a strong mind to start off the way you started off and to continue the path that you continue, knowing that it could be easy to pay somebody $50, $100 and promo blast it all over the web, but to not and to say, no, we're just gonna keep doing it ourselves. Keep
Yeah.
doing it ourselves because you're going against the grain, right? Everyone right now is saying you have to get on social media. That's how you blow
Yeah.
up. This and this and that. But to see someone say, no, we're gonna go old school.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk to people.
Yeah.
We're gonna invite you to the show, and hopefully
Yeah.
you like it, and bring somebody else, and build like that.
Yeah.
Get genuine support, genuine love, genuine appreciation for the craft, the art that you do,
Yeah.
and I like to say, I don't think you can fake those results.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can always pad numbers.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
always, I sold out this.
Yeah.
But you ain't got nobody online saying,
Yeah.
come and see this dude at all. But you
Yeah.
still sold out the show. What's
Yeah.
the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, definitely I enjoyed this. Been a while. So before we go though, I love to put everybody in a hot seat. And this both of y'all gonna have to answer this. Stranded on a desert island, you have nothing, but you can bring the catalog of 5 artists. When I say catalog, anything they've touched. Who are your 5 artists all time going to be? We're gonna start off with Miss
Yeah.
Lynn.
Ladies first.
Oh man.
I know it's tough.
Like artists like.
Are we straight on this island together, or is she by herself?
Separate.
Okay.
So like artists like.
Any artist you can think of. Like who's your all time? Like you would, if you can't listen to nobody else.
Oh, okay.
5. Who would you take with you?
Why you can't go first?
Nah, go ahead.
You're gonna start off there and say what you can.
Jamaica.
Okay.
Wale. Lauryn Hill. Scott Free.
He was
That's
looking
what's
like,
up. That's what's up.
And one more. John Legend.
you know what's interesting about everyone you name? I can hear every single song also with acapella spoken word at the same time. I can hear them singing it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And I ain't even picked.
Don't go there. Just
Sorry.
leave it alone.
Okay.
Let that go.
Okay.
I would have to say Music Soul Child. The first album from Young Dro, like the first album, I'm sorry, bro. Like they get me so hyped, you know what I'm saying? The first album
Forget
from
about how
Young
Dro
Dro,
was
bro.
Dro. Okay.
Oh man, I forgot about it. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
genre.
Yeah. Dang, bro, it's a lot of music that anything by UGK. It's a big catalog between him and Pimp C. UGK. That's where I'm at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Franklin. I need some Jesus in my life. If I get there,
No Jesus.
I'm gonna need it.
I don't know any songs that I
You know Kurt. You know Stomp.
That's the only song. That's
You know Melody from Heaven.
Family.
Melody.
Okay.
He wasn't singing.
Kurt Franklin and the family.
The family was singing.
Right.
Kurt Franklin is who
I'm
got
not
the
finna
credit?
go there.
Who
I'm
got
not
the
finna-
credit?
My man, I said catalog, so hey,
Kurt
he's listed as an artist.
anything he
He's listed as an
touched, right?
artist.
Anything
He's
he
listed as
touched.
an artist.
All right. All I'm saying, he said anything he touched.
I'm
So
not.
applies then. Huh?
Oh,
Exactly.
man. I haven't named any females, huh?
Nope.
Dog. I'm trying to see who got because I'm trying to see who got the biggest catalog. Because you like, man, you get tired of certain stuff. You know what I mean? So you need
Right.
anything
Looking at writers,
anything they
looking
touch.
at,
Yeah.
Features. all that.
Man, I'm gonna have to go with if I gotta pick a female. I want so bad to go with Lauryn Hill, but she only got the 2 albums, bro.
I can listen to them over and over. Again,
I
so.
hear you. But
She got
I'm
features
It would be
too? She
between
got
her.
features?
It would be her and Erica Badu because I like her too. Yeah, I was trying to pick between her. You know,
I'm gonna go with India.Arie.
and she got one of my favorite songs, but I didn't go.
I'm gonna go with
because I don't
India.Arie.
like all her CDs.
She introduced me to that soul side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
gonna go
I
with
was
India.Arie.
jamming Irie, you know,
Yeah.
in school when boys was jamming. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm by myself. Like, man,
Yeah.
she on the guitar.
Yeah, killing it. Yeah. So that's my 5. Shout out to any of you artists that I know that I didn't call out personally. I'm just, I only had 5 to go with. They had a big catalog.
Who else did you know personally that you was gonna pick? That would you want to hear all the time?
I'm not even gonna say there's somebody
Okay.
that
Putting them on the hot seat, right?
I'm not even
You
gonna
ain't-
say there's
you ain't
somebody I
names
know.
for me that didn't make the
Somebody
list.
I know personally that I wouldn't want to hear all the time.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
want everybody I know personally. I want to hear you all the time.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that, but I love you.
That's because you don't know nobody you want to hear all the
man.
time except me.
That's it, baby. That's all. I mean, I hear you all the time anyway.
Yeah,
But
Oh man, I had a great time, man.
Me too.
This was fun, man. And you say y'all got something coming up tomorrow or this
yes,
tomorrow,
we
right?
will be at the Houston Improv tomorrow for our community service announcement.
Okay.
Um,
Performing?
we both will be performing.
Okay.
For what is it? Soul Poetry. Kanai will be the host.
Yeah.
It will be a very informative event.
It's gonna be very entertaining. It's gonna be very high in emotion.
Not me.
I mean,
I'm silly.
I mean, hopefully somebody brings some silliness to the show, and that'd be great.
I am.
But I'm coming. I'm with my PSA. Is that what we call it?
CSA, Community Service Announcement.
I'm raising awareness on domestic violence. That's what my poem is gonna be about. It's called Watch the Hands. Watch the Hands.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know mine's gonna be a little heavy, but it's necessary, So
Well, I'm gonna be a little silly. I'm raising awareness to minding your own business.
okay, there you go.
Bring my students to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So,
Oh man,
Well, I've enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this.
we had a good time, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got informed a lot. You know what I mean? I'm hey man, Trey, we need to change up our promo stuff. You know what I mean? Your man's done dropped a couple of gems on me. I'm ready to
Free game.
But yeah, man, definitely appreciate it, man. Y'all been awesome. And like I said, I'm coming to one. Either if it ain't tomorrow, it's gonna be the kickback.
May 22nd.
Definitely go,
May 22nd. You gotta let me know how many tickets you need.
Well, honestly, no, I will because that's gonna be the kickback or the improv.
Nah, that's the improv.
It's
May
improv.
22nd.
No, what I was saying is I'm going to I can get my department.
Man, let me know how many tickets you need.
Yeah.
Let
So
me
I'm
know
gonna go
as
back
soon
to
as
work
possible.
tomorrow.
That will be a couple of days
Don't-
before your
don't-
birthday.
don't- yeah.
No, I'm just thinking about that. So
Yeah, the kickback right before my birthday, but you gotta keep up with us. I'm not gonna announce it.
I'm definitely coming to the kickback because I like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I have to.
you will
see.
definitely have fun.
I have to
man.
see. Like I'm hearing you guys. And I'm sitting there like, man.
And it's so,
concept
like-
it's so amazing. So I have to see it in person.
The setting is so it's sexy.
Yeah, it is. It really
Like, it
is.
is.
It's hookah, BYOBs, and the real
It's
intimate
like
setting
these
is
like lounge
Red
couches.
couches.
They red. They let.
So you don't feel like you at a show. You feel
I-
like
You feel like you at home in your living room.
chilling
Nice.
with fam.
It's a living room setting,
And-
That's
and
cool.
it's huge.
It really is.
It's not
cool.
huge, but it's a big, big. It's not where you all jammed up, crowd.
Like realistically, man, we put money into the kickback. Like we pay the DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like we
and
pay
we
the
don't
band. We don't charge you guys to
in.
get in. This is on the strength. Like this is love. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like that's why I'm saying if you keeping up with us, this is us
Then
giving
this is
back.
us
This is
having-
love.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're not really keeping up with us, this is not for you. I mean, we breaking bread. Like we
spending money.
We spending money. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember the first time we I'm not even gonna go
Well,
into
I mean,
the
if
numbers.
I'm
You know what I'm
spending money,
saying?
I want my genuine audience in front of me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
People
Like
that's
this,
really there to
this
see
is
you.
us. This is you
Yeah.
giving to them. So
Yeah, I'm giving
therefore,
back.
You only want
It
those
should be the
that
give back.
Want to be there.
If you were
Yeah.
investing,
It should be the give back.
Not the kickback,
Not
but
the
the give
kickback. The
back.
give back.
But it, like I said, I can
Change
see, I
it.
can see the difference in something that you're actually doing for business as opposed to like the improv.
Yeah.
Now you're like, okay, promo,
Oh,
whatever.
You come to the kickback, you need to get a ticket too.
Yeah, why not? You got a free show.
Why don't you come see what we can do when it's not for free? we gonna give you the same quality show, but we gonna
it's another level when
it's
you
another
get
level.
when
You
you
gonna
get to the improv. It's a whole
different
nother level.
entertainment.
Real talk. It
You
is
know.
it's another level of showmanship.
Exactly.
When you get to the improv, don't get me wrong, you get entertained at the kickback. It's just a different atmosphere. It's a different energy. But at the Houston Improv, it's a bigger stage. It's just
It's the comfort of being able to have drinks served to you. You know, you get food served to you.
you get merchandise.
You
There's
get
merch.
yeah.
There's merchandise tables. There's red carpet rolled out for you.
Pictures.
There's photos. There's photo ops. There's a whole lot more going on at the Houston Improv than at the kickback, of course. But again, at the kickback, we got good soul food. We got, we have them stuffed turkey legs and big
stuffed baked potatoes.
Monster baked potatoes.
Like that covers your whole plate. Like
I
a
mean,
baked potato could be like that big.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. So
stuffed turkey legs be off the chain.
Yeah, he stuffed it with jambalaya, boudin.
So you invite people to come in and
we got a guy that comes in and brings all the food and stuff like that. But yeah, man.
You had me at food, so
you follow us on Instagram.
I ain't little, so I'm
and we're gonna have to send you that flyer when it's.
I'm definitely gonna go in and once we get off, go in and follow all your sites and definitely keep in touch because I definitely want to hear more from you guys and I want to bring as many people as I can to your movement and because I mean, like I said, I haven't come across someone who wasn't afraid to go back and do things like to on that genuine level. And again, man, that's awesome. And that's awesome because I know how hard it is to be like, I can just pay this money and get a whole bunch of people paid and get some money out of it. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it'd be time.
After every kickback, it says, man, why aren't y'all charging? Y'all need to be charging.
Right. You
can
easily do this for money.
Yeah.
You can easily do this for money, especially with what you're putting into it. You can easily get stuff back and start. But to see somebody who genuinely does it for the love of it and, for the relationship building, which I have no doubt that's going to lead to bigger things. Because eventually, and I talk to her all the time, you're going to come across that one person. That one person that asks for 20 tickets is going to be another person that asks for 500. You're going to come across that one person that's going to be that one link to now all of a sudden we go live TV is trending worldwide. Yeah. Now all of a sudden it's going to be
get there.